Hello, everyone. This is the fifth educational video I'm doing for the Global Virtual Design Sprint, and today it's going to be all about Mural. So these are meant to be 10 to 15 minute kind of vignettes on what you need to know before you go into the event in October. Now, Mural, if you're not aware, is a whiteboarding tool that the event has been using since November 2018. It is can be a very complex, involved tool to know all the nuances of it, but my purpose here today is to make you aware of a lot of different resources that you can use to understand the tool better, as well as how to navigate the basics of the tool once you're inside of it. Now, being part of the Global Virtual Design Sprint, you have a couple of options in terms of using it. One is that you can sign up for a free trial if you'd like. Two is that you can get a guest account through my workspace. And three is that if you're planning on being a facilitator, you can become an actual member. So you can try out all the features and functionality of the program if you like, but that's only for people that are kind of vested in either being a facilitator or co-facilitator, so you can explore it. But you do have different options that you can choose from in terms of understanding and learning the tool. The purpose of this video is just to kind of give you an overview of what you need to know inside the tool, as well as all the different resources that you can tap into that will give you a depth and breadth of all the different learning activities you can basically get involved with. So what we'll do is, well, as you're seeing here on the screen, this is kind of my view of the workspace in terms of everything that's been going on the past few days in terms of what I've been kind of working on. When you're working on Mural, usually you're going to be going straight into something where you're going to be creating a new mural, or one will be created for you. But what I'll be doing is just kind of going through the basic tool set rather than kind of going through each particular aspect of it. So this is what you usually see when you create a new one, and all the different templates that you can use that are corresponding to what you want to do. But for now, we're just going to create a blank one and kind of go through some basics about it. So when you first look at Mural, or when you first encounter it, especially if it's blank like this, as a facilitator, I have a lot of different tools available to me. What I want to concentrate on is just this part over here on the left. And I'm going to basically explain how this particular part is critical to understand in terms of using it during the Global Virtual Design Sprint, especially when you're going to be doing different activities. The first and foremost is usually the one that's right below the exit icon here, right on the left. All you have to do is just click on this with your mouse, and it'll give you different options for sticky notes, which are things, visuals that showcase like you would physical sticky notes in the real world. All these are digital cards, and they come in different shapes and colors. Up here at the very top are some things that you can use to basically write text or comments. More often than not, what we usually do in the GVDS is we actually use sticky notes here, like we use squares or rectangles. And once you actually bring one down here and you just click and drag it over, you can have different options to choose from to basically modify it or change it. But it's really simple. You can basically pick a particular color, you can drag it over, do all sorts of colors with this. You can even do the different sizes. And once you have one on this whiteboarding space here on the right, all you have to do is just double click on it to start basically typing in something like, "Hello, everyone." And that's a convenient way of kind of making a note. And that's basically the most basic unit in Mural, in the whiteboarding tool. Now, once you have a sticky note like this on the board, it's really easy to modify it. Basically, if you click on it, there's going to be a whole bunch of little submenu links here. The ones that people use the most often are usually the move thing. So if you can two ways you can move a card. You can just basically click and hold this like I'm doing with my trackpad and just kind of move it around. You can also click the card itself and move it around. This hourglass is really convenient to kind of zoom in on the note and center it in case you have a bunch of them on the screen. And then another thing that we frequently do is the color. When there's a little color icon here, if you click on this, you have a whole different palette of default colors to choose from, as well as transparent ones. And then you can do custom colors, which obviously if I'm doing a lot of work in templates, there's going to be a ton of different ones you can do. You can add a custom color just by adding the plus sign here and selecting something that is your particular flavor. So let's do like neon blue. Let's go all the way up here. You just add that, and then I have that available to me, and I can make my cards neon blue. Beyond that, there's a switch feature that you can do as well, which is all the way at the end here. You can basically switch out the current thing that you're looking at as a 3x3 text note. You can change it to a circle. You can even make it text, whatever you like to do. But this particular tool allows you to do different variations in terms of what you're looking for. Now, the other thing that you may do is that, say, if you have the ability to kind of expand this out and make it huge, but usually it's a good idea to keep the size as default. Otherwise, these things tend to get unruly, and the way to do that is just basically clicking on resize and just selecting a default size, and that usually does the trick. So this is the basic in terms of using notes and text down there. So these title ones, you click and drag this over. You can make a title and just say, this is an amazing title. And same thing with text. So you can drag this over, and this is slightly smaller. But if you want to change those, there's little modifications here where you can increase the text or you can bring it down. You can even change what it looks like. Make it bold, italicized, underline, strike through, anything you like. You can even change it. It has like a small set of default fonts you can choose that are all here. And you can also change the corresponding alignment for this. So a lot of different things you can do with this. Most of the time, facilitators and designers are working with this, but these are the basics that you can use to kind of communicate with other people that are using Mural with you and understanding how to do that. The other things I'll point out that we use frequently within the Global Virtual Design Sprint are the image search. You'll be doing these in a couple of icebreakers, but it's really convenient within Mural where you just have to search for something like Pokemon. And you can put any kind of keyword here and it'll do an image search on all sorts of things. So if you want to do like people working, then it'll just basically go, oh, well, you want some people working? Here's a whole bunch of different ones. You can put your mouse over it to kind of take a look at what's going on. And then just click and drag like you did with the cards and bring it over to the right-hand side here. And then all you have to do to size it is just use the little dot at the end to modify it, move it around. There's even a crop tool where if you hit the crop, you basically just can take it out. So it's like, I really don't like the girl on the right. So you go, this is better. And then just click anywhere outside of this and you have yourself a cropped image. So there you go. That'll be something that you use infrequently in the GVDS as well. Let's see here. Another thing that that is usually good to know about is the icon tool. It works just like the image search, in that you can figure out particular icons you can use to indicate your interest. The popular one is Flame, and this does search for a whole bunch of different bitmap kind of designs. All you have to do is just click and drag it over. And similar to the cards, you can change the colors on these just with basically choosing something out of the color palette, and there you go. So this is a very, very basic kind of overview of the three tools that are typically used in the GVDS a lot, which is the text area where it has a bunch of digital cards, the icon area where you can basically search for icons and drag them over here, as well as the image search and bringing that into this mix as well. There will be some other tools that kind of come up that you'll be using or will be experimenting with. One of them is private mode. For facilitators that opt to basically make sure that no one can see what you're doing. If you go into private mode, then all cards that people write down are going to be hidden from view, meaning that if somebody clicks and drags over a sticky note, you're only going to see it from your side, but on their side, they're going to see this as gray. And I'm kind of emulating it a bit, and it'll have that little icon right there. That may or may not be employed, but that's something that's coming up for GVDS 5. I'll go ahead and turn that off, or in private mode over here, reveal it. It's a gray square. You'll also encounter this, which is a timer. Your facilitator or even the group might opt us to time box certain things. And in Mural, it's a really easy way of just hitting the timer, increasing or decreasing the timer and starting it. And then it has something displayed for everybody to use. And you can pause it, end it, add 5 minutes, add a minute if you want to extend it out. But these are convenient little tools that are used commonly. I'll end it, and it gives a little like, ladies and gentlemen, we are now deporting the plane kind of sound. And also in Mural, you can actually control how many members or who's going to be part of it. Usually it's a good thing to be aware of the share button as well. If you want to invite people to the Mural that you're working on, but they don't have a link available, usually the one I use is the visitor link. You just copy this, and you can change the default kind of permissions on how people kind of engage this particular template, or sorry, the Mural that you're working with. So that's a very cursory overview of some of the tools here. I would highly encourage anyone to kind of explore these and see what they're all about, especially the content library where you can add a whole groups of things and you reuse them in several different points, which is great for template building. There's basically also files where you can take files, import ones that you already have, and drop them straight in the Mural for a link. So let's get into that a little bit. There's the learning resources. So I made mention of a particular tool that we're going to be showcasing for GVDS 5, which is QuickTalk. This is something where in the interface itself down below, you have a number of people that are joining your call, or at least part of it. And this quick call is basically to eliminate the need for video call, like basically to see each other through video. You can just use the Mural to basically get on the same call right away. You can use something like Slack or Discord or some other like a kind of chat tool to get everyone on the same page, or email about when you're going to get together. And then just basically click on this to start a call to talk about whatever you want to do in relation to what you're kind of looking at in Mural. So you'll be seeing more of this. We'll kind of probably get a little bit more in depth through another video, but just want to let you know that this is coming up for GVDS 5, is that we're going to be using this as part of it. Now, for general learning about Mural, there is one particular resource for facilitators that's been around for a couple of years, but it's still great to kind of review. I recommend it every chance I get in terms of people who are new to facilitation or want to understand facilitation virtually. It's a great resource. It's a downloadable PDF. You just have to put in some information here, and then depending on what you put in, as long as it's valid, then you'll be able to get this PDF and look it over for yourself. By the way, this is something called the Great Suspender, which is helping to make sure that I don't have a suspended Chrome browser, which takes up a lot of memory. So if you see that icon, that's the reason why. There are tons of great Mural webinars, upcoming ones as well as past ones. They commonly have an introduction to Mural that happens 3 or 4 times a week. It's through the CX team that they have. All you have to do is register for that, get it on your calendar, and they will walk through and answer questions for you. So you definitely, if you really want a good introduction between now and October, what it's all about, that would be something I'd highly recommend. The Backstage Pass is a good way of getting a hold of a couple people that are really, really versed in Mural and know how to get around it. Haley Temple being one of them. I'm going to refrain from saying this mysterious man's name, but you'll know once you're there that he is very well versed. I'm actually going to say his name later. I'm just waiting to spot it. But I'm scrolling down the page. You can see like all these different webinars that have happened in the past, including one I did with Sandy Lamb. There's some great knowledge here, but you can replay any of these on your own time. And again, all these links will be available on the YouTube video. All you have to do is go in the description to see them. And his name is Mark Tippin, by the way. I was only kidding. Some other resources you can use are templates. They are included, and you saw them when we first opened up a Mural, but there's actually a site that goes into all the different templates you can use, especially like you can click on these little filters for brainstorming, icebreakers, evaluations, all sorts of different ones you can use. But the Jeopardy one is really interesting because we haven't gone with it yet, but I had this and thought, this is interesting. But for facilitators and people that are getting people together to do work sessions, these are great. There's a lot of different ones you can share, you can use, and we're going to feature some in the GVDS that you could also download. There are a couple of online resources for general learning beyond the kind of live CX offerings that Mural does. One of them is on Teachable. This is free. You just have to basically get started and sign up, and it goes into all sorts of different dimensions for administrators, new users, and facilitators. I've taken and reviewed both of these. They're fairly good. This one I would say is a bit dated just because when these came out, it was around 2019, but the interface may not look as updated, but it still goes through all of the basic functionality that corresponds to it. And I may be wrong. They may have updated it since then, but you'll have to take a look. But these are a couple of things. Now, if you're into videos like I am and like watching things on YouTube, there are 2 particular places you could go. One of them is for facilitators. They have a number of different videos that they've done for kind of facilitating Mural and what you kind of need to do and time boxing and everything. Again, this is about a little over a year old, so take it with a grain of salt, but it still will get you through some very basic walkthroughs on everything you need to know in relation to facilitating a Mural, as well as learning the basics. And again, another list on YouTube of different things that you can do. These are all created, I believe, by a number of people, but they're good to kind of review. And then finally within Mural, right in the application, there's a little thing on the left that says Learn. If you click on this, it has a lot of the different content that we've reviewed today. It has links to a lot of different things like the Mural Minute that Haley Temple's doing. Again, you've seen the weekly demo that we featured on a different URL. This is kind of embedded within Mural that you can actually see it. So again, you can do all sorts of different, you can click on any of these categories to kind of get straight to some particular articles that can help out. The video tutorials are also listed here as well. But there's plenty of great resources within the application if you want to go that route. And then finally, for the GVDS, there's a page on the website called Resources that I'm building out. Obviously, a lot of these links aren't active, but in the next couple of weeks, they are going to be. This one for getting familiar with Mural is coming up. But keep on kind of looking at this, and I'll be sending out updates to everyone who's participating in this event to let them know about the resources that are updated with this. There's also going to be one for the Dash. I just haven't put it up here yet, but between now and the next couple of weeks, you should be seeing plenty of other videos and slide decks that will kind of help explain not only how to navigate GVDS, but participate in it, understanding your roles, what to expect during sprint week, the whole shot. So that's what's coming up. Again, thank you very much for watching this video. If you do have any questions, feel free to post in the comments in the YouTube video that you're watching right now. You can also get a hold of me on LinkedIn. Just look for Robert Scrobe, PM me there. Or if you're in Slack and you're part of the event that's coming up in October, just message me direct or post something in general, and I'll be happy to answer and engage. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. Hope you all are doing well. Take care, and we'll talk to you later. Okay.